In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 strategies to keep weight off for life. This is a video for one of my coaching clients who lives in the Bay Area in California. He's lost a whole bunch of weight, Mark. He's lost like 70 pounds, and now he is working at keeping that weight off and maintaining that weight loss. And surprisingly, he's actually finding it quite a struggle. So in today's video, I'm going to give Mark 5 strategies to help keep weight off for life. And I really hope that other people who get a chance to watch this video can benefit from it. Hey, my name's Lindsay from FitFolk, and I help busy people all around the world lose weight and keep it off. And in today's video, we are doing our 5 best strategies for keeping weight off for life. Now, this is a video for Mark, who, like I said, he's lost 70 pounds and he's now trying to keep that weight off. So he's come from like 265 pounds down to around 190, and now he is working at keeping that weight off. Now, I personally have lost 50 pounds in the past, and I've kept that weight off for 5 years. So I'm 40 now. I lost that weight between my 35th and 36th birthday. So, you know, I've been there, I've done it, and I'm gonna try and give him 5 strategies to explain how to make this a little bit easier. Now, it's really important to understand that this is a very normal challenge. Only about 1/3 of people who lose a significant amount of weight end up keeping it off, and there's a very real reason why. And the reason why is actually really well known scientifically. It's called the energy gap. So what happens is when you lose a bunch of weight, there's kind of 2 things majorly that happen. You get a whole bunch of hormonal adaptations, and basically your energy expenditure declines and your hunger increases. So you basically have this state where you're using less energy and you're wanting more energy. Your brain is driving you to eat more energy, and it's a real challenge. And what we need to do is address that. Now, in the literature, it shows that addressing that is a pretty kind of, you know, it's a challenging idea, but there are some basic tools. So we can try and eat more dietary protein, more dietary fiber. We can reduce the glycemic load of our diet, and we can reduce the energy density. So basically just eating more protein, veg, filling food. On the energy outside, we need to try and increase our energy flux, which means basically being more active, you know, the thermic effect of food, eating more, try to keep our resting metabolic rate up with some lifting, eating enough protein, and that's the basic gist of it. Now, getting back to the 5 strategies. These are the 5 that I would give to Mark. These are kind of things I've done myself, and they make this whole process so much easier. So first and foremost, you need to establish a red line. So Mark has at times got down to 185 pounds. He'd like to keep it between 180 and 190, but he needs a red line, at which point he would initiate kind of aggressive weight loss once again. So for him, that red line should be about 200 pounds. If he, at any point, could maybe stop tracking food, but continue tracking his weight, and if at any point he hits 200 pounds, then he needs to get back to doing what allowed him to lose the weight in the first place. Now, he won't lose weight as quickly as he did from 260 pounds, but if he ever sees 201, 202, really get back on the diet, the exercise, whatever it is he was doing. I know what he was doing, but just so that it doesn't run away you. It's just a really clever strategy, and ideally you can continue to kind of monitor your weight, but not have to monitor your food or do any tracking. Next up is you want to create a filling food temple in your house. So a lot of people really struggle with certain foods triggering them to overeat. And we know from the National Weight Control Registry that about 87% of people who successfully keep weight off restrict certain types of food. The easiest way to get this done in the real world is just to fill your house with filling food and try to limit the number of trigger foods that you have in your house. So in Mark's case, he needs to get chocolate out of his house. Now, you know, maybe his wife or his daughter, they're eating chocolate, but they need to hide it away from him because he just can't deal with eating that on the daily, and he needs to be eating more veggies, more protein, more of the good stuff, watery carbs, juicy fruit, these types of things. So clear the house of kind of trigger foods and fill the house in your fridge with filling foods. This is really going to make it easier because you will naturally control your hunger by eating better food. The next up is to embrace routine eating. So rather than, in the National Weight Control Registry, the people who successfully keep weight off, they actually report eating really low calories. Like the men are eating on average 1,700 and the women are eating 1,300. Now we know from the data that that's misreporting, that they're clearly eating more than that at those body weights. But at the same time, you need to continually eat a bit less. The 10 calorie rule kind of states that if you lose 60 pounds, your energy expenditure will probably decline by about 600 calories unless you move more. Now, we'll talk about that in a second, but basically, you really want to find a way to kind of keep your energy intake under control without having to do all the tracking and all the boring stuff. So the best way to do it is just to embrace a food routine. So to be someone that just eats breakfast, lunch, dinner very consistently, try to limit your snacking, or if you do snack, have a very routine snack, a piece of fruit in the afternoon. But try to find your very best routine that you can maintain kind of Monday to Friday and only deviate from when you have a social occasion. In my case, that's breakfast, lunch, dinner. In Mark's case, that is lunch, dinner, dessert, and just embrace the routine in the week rather than having to deal with the tracking. So you've got a filling food routine. You're combining all those filling foods into a kind of meal pattern that you stick to generally on weekdays, and that will give you really good calorie control without all the stress of tracking. The next up is to have some daily activity. So our fourth strategy is to have some daily activity. Now, it's great to lift weights, it's great to do cardio, hit all these things, but absolutely the best is just to walk on the daily. We know from the National Weight Control Registry that walking on the daily is hugely beneficial, and Mark is already crushing this. Walks each morning for, in excess of half an hour, sometimes close to an hour, and he really crushes this. So this is something that's absolutely wonderful for him, gives him higher energy expenditure, lets him eat more at any given body weight, wonderful for his health, just the absolute best habit you can imagine. Walk on the daily, something that could work for anyone in the world, and walking is so much more accessible than other types of exercise. And now finally, and this is the one that I think Mark needs the most practice with, and it's certainly something that I see all clients struggling with, and that is to actually practice kind of social feasting, to learn how to feast, to learn how to overeat in a controlled way and then just get back to normal. And for me, this is the skill that makes keeping weight off the most sustainable. When I lost all my weight, I took 2 days off each week, and so like I had Friday night through Sunday lunch off. I would always eat pizza, beer, a bit of chocolate, some ice cream in that window, and then be pretty strict during the week. And I think this set me up for really good keeping weight off, because I already knew how to feast when I needed to, when there was a social occasion, if there's a party, if I'm going to a restaurant, just eat, because I know I can always clean it up during the weekend. And I think Mark really needs to practice this, just taking 1 day a week, the most important social occasion of the week, and just overeating in a really relaxed way, and just knowing that it'll be fine. And he will see that, yes, after he overeats, goes out, eats, fish and chips, really salty, really carby, yes, he'll throw on 4 pounds, but he'll see that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that weight just comes off. And what that does is it makes you incredibly relaxed about social occasions, about eating out. Yes, if you're eating out 4 or 5 times a week, you're going to run into problems, but you want to have the freedom to eat well and enjoy yourself and not think about food on those important social occasions in life. And I really think social feasting, that the ability to feast and relax about it, is the most important skill for keeping weight off, because psychologically it makes the whole process so much more relaxed, so much more enjoyable. And that's it. So those are our 5 strategies. Set yourself a red line, a weight target that you won't let yourself go above again. Embrace filling food in your house. Create a filling food temple. Embrace routine eating. So create a really strong meal routine during the week. Add some daily activity. And then finally, on the weekly, learn how to feast and enjoy yourself without freaking out about it, in the full knowledge that you will be able to clean that up in the next couple of days. And those are our 5 habits, which really, it's all about lifestyle design, isn't it? Eventually, yes, losing weight is a very aggressive kind of, sometimes you push it, sometimes you need to do stuff you don't want to do, tracking food, some types of exercise, whatever. But when it comes to keeping weight off, this is about lifestyle design and doing it as well as you can and making it as simple as possible, because you can't rely on motivation over the long term. You need to rely on very simple habits and lifestyle design to keep that weight off. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're interested in the coaching, I'm always looking for more clients, so check it out. There's a link below. Talk to you soon.